Hello, dear lovely audience. Welcome back to another Bravo TV new recap. Everyone, I know you'll have been waiting for this. Thank you guys so much for your patience. The Southern Charm cast member embarked on an Alaskan fishing trip with his old man. Shep Rose hasn't lost his wanderlust. Just weeks after sharing his Amsterdam getaway with Austin Kroll, the Southern Charm cast member made another addition to his travel log. Shep confirmed he had embarked on a fishing trip to Southwest Alaska, but this adventure was particularly special as it included his father, William Shepard Rip Rose Jr. Shep Rose heads to Alaska with his father, William Rip Rose. Chilly morning on the Togiak River with the old man, the Southern Charmer captioned a September 11th Instagram. The photo showed the father and son sitting side by side on a boat with Captain William Paul, a fly fishing guide with the Tikshik Narrows Lodge in Dillingham, Alaska. The fishing excursion was a success, as Shep and William each posed with their catches of the day. "Caught some silver salmon, which I will be bringing home," Shep wrote, before giving a shout-out to his artist friend Caleb Fournier. "Caleb gonna cook it up." Shep Rose shares details on his family and upbringing. Since making his Bravo debut in 2014, Shep has shared a few details about his upbringing and home life. During a 2019 interview with The Daily Dish, the South Carolina native described his lawyer dad as a really, really good guy. A kind guy. Related. Shep Rose shares a surreal update about his family. "Can't believe he's never really raised his voice at me, which maybe is a problem," Shep joked. "Maybe he should have a couple of times. My mom, Frances, did all the heavy lifting of raising the children, I'll say that. And I don't think my dad would dispute that. But he was a kind man. I'm a lot like my mom. I think everyone agrees on that. We talk too much," he continued with a laugh. "She's great. I'm just lucky. I'm super lucky. I've got two parents I'm certainly a piece of work, but I know right from wrong. I kind of know how to behave myself. Of course, I'm probably disappointing my mom at every other moment, but that's sort of our relationship. I kind of like offending my mom. And not super offending, but just a little." Shep Rose on his relationship with his siblings. "I'm lucky." Shep primarily grew up in Hilton Head, South Carolina, with his older sister, Katie, and younger brother, Whitaker. His siblings are both attorneys in Charlotte, North Carolina, where they're raising their children. Related. Shep Rose offers up a closer look at his impressive family. "I'm super lucky. They're lovely people. We get along well," Shep said about his brother and sister. "I was really rough on my brother. Not physically, just mentally. Katie is the smartest one. My sister's a genius. She just did everything right. I'm lucky. That's all I can say." Learn more about Shep's family and their long-standing ties to the South. Shep Rose shares a rare look at his bond with his lookalike dad. A crisp, chilly morning on the Togiak River in southwest Alaska. Two figures sit side by side in a boat, wrapped in warm outerwear, the mist rising off the water. One holds a fishing rod, the other peers over the side, eyes bright with anticipation. They are separated by a generation, father and son, but in that moment, they are unmistakably mirror images. Shep Rose, star of Southern Charm, has always been known for his charm, his wit, and a life lived in the spotlight. But this trip, this quiet moment with his dad, William Shepard Rip Rose Jr., reveals something different. Not the showman, not the hot topic, the son, the father, two men who share more than blood. A bond visible in posture, in mannerisms, in the soft but steady rhythm of shared experience. The trip that told a story. According to Shep's Instagram, this journey to Alaska was more than just another travelogue. He captioned one photo, "Chilly morning on the Togiak River with the old man," and there they were, two silhouettes against dawn, readying to fly fish in remote beauty. They each caught silver salmon, and for Shep, this was a moment both literal and symbolic. Catching fish, yes, but also catching up, reaffirming what's important. Rip Rose, a lawyer by profession, has been a quiet presence in Shep's life. Steady, kind, never one to raise his voice. Shep's reflections on his dad have long carried admiration and gratitude. "His father never really raised his voice at me," Shep once said, acknowledging that perhaps Rip should have, just a bit. But he also emphasized that it's not about discipline alone. It's character, consistency, kindness. The mirror, physical and emotional resemblance. We often talk about sons being their father's reflection. In Shep's case, it's more than just a familial resemblance. It's style, temperament, and perspective. Physical resemblance. Fans and family note that Shep looks a lot like his father. There's something in the chin, in the way the jaw carries, perhaps in the eyes. In photos from the fishing trip, the symmetry is striking. Temperamental echoes. Shep describes Rip as kind, composed, even-tempered. Traits Shep sees in himself, sometimes with a dose of self-mockery. In interviews, he acknowledges being a piece of work, yet grounded, knowing right from wrong. Shared values and upbringing. Shep often credits his upbringing, his parents teaching him about responsibility, generosity, and self-awareness. His mother, Frances, got the bulk of the hands-on parenting, but Rip's influence is clear. Integrity, decorum, gentleness. What this moment means. This rare peek behind the scenes is meaningful for several reasons. A pause in the spotlight. In the realm of reality television, so much is curated. Shep is used to being on camera. But this trip, with its fishing, its dawn, its father, feels unfiltered. It's a break from spectacle. It's old-fashioned, elemental, and honest. Establishing roots. For someone whose life includes travel, adventure, social obligations, relationships under scrutiny, this is grounding. Alaska isn't Hilton Head. It's not Charleston. It is remote. It is wild. And being there with his dad, they are not performers. They are people. Memory-making. Fishing trips are seldom about the fish alone. They are about early mornings, shared silence, patience, laughter, stories told against backdrops of water and sky. Shep has referenced memories with his dad in many interviews, his mother doing the heavy lifting, his dad never shouting, a stable moral compass. This trip adds to the archive. Legacy of character over fame. Shep seems aware that the legacy his father has is not about public perception, but about how he behaves when no one is watching. Rip Rose may not be in the limelight, but his imprint on Shep is profound. And perhaps Shep himself wishes to carry that forward. A deeper look, Shep's upbringing, family, and self. To truly understand this bond, one must trace where it begins and how it evolved. Family foundations. Shep grew up in Hilton Head, South Carolina, with older sister Katie and younger brother Whitaker. His father, William S. Rip Rose Jr., was a lawyer, respected, kind. His mother Frances did much of the heavy lifting in raising the children, as Shep has described. The family holds academic achievements, social standing, and careers. Lawyers, entrepreneurs. Shep often jokes, with affection, that his siblings are more accomplished in traditional senses. But his own path through media, business, real estate has been unconventional, yet rooted in respectability. That live-and-learn edge. Shep has acknowledged that his father never raised his voice at him, even when perhaps he should have. There's a warmth to that, but also a hint of longing. Perhaps in those moments, something more might have changed. Yet, these are reflections, not regrets. Shep's growth seems informed by both what was and what wasn't said or done. He also attributes many of his traits to his mother, talkative, brash, quick in conversation, even in offense. But the backbone, the knowing right from wrong, the behavior when no one is looking, he traces to both parents and especially to his dad. Contrasts complexity and the public eye. Of course, the bond isn't simple. There's texture, tension, and inevitable contrast, amplified by Shep's public life. Persona versus person. On Southern Charm, Shep's image is colorful, witty, charming, sometimes roguish. Behind that, these moments with his dad show a quieter, more reflective Shep. Expectations and performance. For someone with an accomplished family, there may be expectations, scholarship, quiet success, conventional achievement. Shep's path has been different. Therefore, these father-son interactions carry undercurrents of proving, belonging, honoring. Legacy and identity. Shep's physical resemblance to his father reminds us visually who he is. But identity is more than appearance. Moments like fishing together show the transmission of values, patience, nature, humility, enjoyment of simple pleasures. The visuals, photography as truth. The photos from the trip are important. Not glamorous, not staged. Just two men, gear in hand, with catches in front of them. The lines on their faces, the westward light, the calm river. They suggest shared joy, holding fish, smiling, nodding. Shared hardship, cold air, uncertain water, effort. Shared silence, the kind of silence that isn't empty. It's full of respect, of being together without pressure. These images are not just documentation. They are affirmation, in visual form, of a bond that has been there all along. What it says about parenthood and sonship. Beyond Shep and Rip, their story resonates because it touches on universal themes of fatherhood, of growing up, and of reflection. Father as guide, not just authority. Rip is not a figure who imposes, who demands, who prescribes. He is there. Kind. Principled. Present. That kind of fatherhood is sometimes quieter, but sometimes more lasting. Son as mirror, as continuation. Shep, in many ways, reflects Rip, not only physically but morally, temperamentally, in the small behaviors that only close observers see. Fishing, patience, humility, and success. Time's arc. The moment in Alaska is a reminder that time passes, that middle age has its joys, its revelations. Respect becomes more visible, admiration emerges more quietly, gratitude more boldly. Shep's reflection. I'm super lucky. Shep has often said this. I'm lucky. That's all I can say. He says it about his family, his upbringing. Not luck in terms of wealth alone, but in the values they passed on. Kindness, clarity, integrity. This Alaska trip is perhaps one of the ways he demonstrates that luck, not by flaunting it, but by honoring it. Sharing the moment publicly is not selfish. It's a statement. Here's where I come from. Here's what's real behind the curated life. Looking ahead. What might this moment lead to? What future snapshots might we see? More shared adventures. Perhaps more trips. Wilderness, fishing, maybe not always exotic places, but places that matter, a lake, a river, somewhere with space to breathe. Reflections in content. Shep might use his platform to show more of this side of his life, not the party or the drama, but the calm, the father-son, the everyday. Fans often respond to that authenticity. Legacy of influence. With siblings who are lawyers, parents who taught moral fiber, Shep may lean into mentorship of younger people, of viewers, of family. The father-son bond may extend outward. A deeper understanding of self. Moments like this give Shep material for introspection. Who he is, who he wants to be, how he honors his roots while continuing to grow and change.